When I first got the bug to flesh out this channel, I knew I would be reacting to material of the day because that's part and parcel to what you kind of have to do. I knew I was going to react to my own stuff because I'm a musician and I'm not going to be hypocritical and just react to the work of others and not throw myself under the microscope. But then I said, well, what else am I going to do? Where else am I going to find content? And I thought about it. It couldn't have been more simple. It was right there under my nose all the time. I'm just going to go into my garden and harvest some fruit. Now, granted, none of the people in the photos or videos that you're about to see are even aware that I'm planning this. So this is just a pie in the sky kind of thing I hope I can pull off. But, again, I have history with these people. I have relationships with these people. They have interesting stories to tell. They are all currently working on stage, in music, in theater, in some capacity, and have been for the better part of 30 years, some of them. 30, 40 years. No joke. So let's take a look at some of the folks that could be on the horizon. JenzX. All right. Here's a band that I've got some history with. A couple of the members there I've shared the stage with already. One goes way back. Way back. Radioactive. There's a guy in this band who used to send me the best email attachments ever. I would wake to them in the morning, I would load them onto my MP3 player, and by the evening ride home, I would already have a solid idea, if not something I was ready to lay a demo of. He's an interesting cat, plays in a lot of different Long Island band configurations, but one of the things that I wanted to talk to him about was the wonders of sharing the stage with his son, who went through the School of Rock programs that are now being offered for children. And he is an accomplished drummer for having gone through such programs. And to see the two of them on stage together, it warms my heart, and I know it's going to make for a good conversation. So I look forward to that. There's one among us who, although known primarily as a 6 and 12 string guitar aficionado, has now taken to live acting on stage. And we share 30 plus years ourselves, musically and just in life. So I can't wait to sit down with this fella and have a little bit of a chat. Where there's one, there's bound to be another. And in the House of Kraus, that's the case, because we're also hoping to talk to his brother. Now, this one here is a multi-instrumentalist. He's known primarily as a drummer, but you could toss him anything, and he can pull it off. He's that good. He currently attends drum clinics for a lot of the famous touring artists nowadays, and is very, very, very up on modern drumming technology. And I look forward to having those conversations with him, because as an IT guy, that's tech that I don't use that I find interesting. And he uses it in very clever and interesting ways. So that's going to be a lot of fun too. This guy doesn't care about technology and music whatsoever. No. If you're going to move him, if you're going to get his ear or his heart or on a playlist, you have to bring it lyrically, melodically, musically in such a way that it resonates with his spirit. He's built a relationship with several of the artists that he's enjoyed over the course of his life, and his perspective on music is very interesting. I've often watched his lives where he discusses some music that he's just listening to casually and why he's listening to it. And I find him an interesting fellow, and I believe you will as well. Especially because we don't just share a love for music. Our love for Long Island parks is another thing that we have in common. These guys have a long and storied history on Long Island as being one of the best bands you never heard. There was another band that one of the members was in that could also be construed as the same in another genre. And I know if I post a photo of this guy's guitar, most people would know who it is. But I'm hoping I can get the man himself to have a conversation about his history in music, our history in music, and where he goes and does his thing even today. As we root around deeper in the garden, I want to talk to this fellow about his time with a band called Sick as Monday. They had themselves a pretty good run, playing festivals and having themselves a hell of a time down in the southern states. And I'd love to catch up with them in general, so hey, whatever excuse is necessary. Chances are good, if you know a guy named Bill, and he happens to be a little out there, he may just earn the name Wild Bill. Well, I happen to know of certified, bona fide, real life Wild Bill. And Bill has played with everyone and his mother. And when I say that, I don't know if I mean that jokingly. Everybody and his mother. And he too has been at it for 30 plus years. He too is still going strong. And he too continues to find unique ways to express. And he's one of the only people I know with the balls to pull off a one-man show routine that tours. What more do I need to say? Give it up for Wild Bill. Jackpipe. Jackpipe is one of my guilty pleasures. I love their material. Larry is the areas that he goes to. I just like mind-numbingly funny, unique, melodically sound. They write good stuff. And it's just hysterical, the stuff that they are singing about. So, considering, Larry is another fella that I know for 30 plus years, and he has expressed both as an absolute mammoth guitarist. He also has somehow managed to have flipped that and taken the mic and written the lyrics and the melodies. He's such a student of the game. I think a conversation with him would be wonderful. I know another fella who's a multi-talented plug-and-play type musician. You never know what you're going to get from him, in the sense that you may see an invite come over one day and he's in a punk band called the Eastend Criminals, and then the next day you'll see a Facebook post of him at work during some off time, really doing some music therapy work without realizing maybe he does realize he's doing musical therapy, but he performs at an assisted living community for our elders. And I think that's a beautiful thing. And I'd love to talk to him about it. I'd love to talk about how he surprises me with all of his different incarnations. I tell him all the time, what is it you don't know? He knows the classic rock. He knows the punk genre. You put an acoustic in his hands, he can make it sing. He knows the American folk 70s era material. There isn't anything he can't play, and those types of folks are interesting people to talk to. Don't you think?
Nice. There you go.
Another guy I'd like to talk to goes about what he does in a very nonchalant kind of manner. It's never really, when you see a post about him, it's never really about him. He's always just a part of the post, but it's his post kind of thing. It's very weird. He's a very humble fellow. He writes, he performs, he records, and he's another one of those fellas that can just drop into any type of situation and say, okay, what do we need? You need me on bass, you need me on drums, you need me on guitar, you need me to sing. What am I doing, harmonies? I got it. And so that's going to be another great conversation. We've got some history together, which puts him on my radar as someone that I'd like to learn more about, especially because he's one of the more unsung heroes, one of the more lesser known of the group that I'm involved with primarily. But it's going to be a good time. We'll talk. And for as much as I do want to keep the conversations light and jovial, into every life, a little rain must fall. And just as I celebrate all of you that are still here, I do want to discuss some of the folks that are no longer with us. But in having shared a stage with them, they are ever part of our band of brothers and deserve as much recognition as any whose hearts build. If I'm really lucky, I can grab the ear of this guy. This fellow here has been responsible for shaping almost everybody I have discussed in this video. Almost everybody. And he continues to do that work today. Gotta be 40 years. The man has been teaching guitarists, teaching musicians, teaching the art of production, arranging, recording, marketing, advertising, promotion of all sorts. I mean, I should stop. Boom. I mean, it's gonna be a phone session. Yeah. But it's with good reason. There's a reason that the man is known. They call him the master. And it's no joke. People don't do that lightly. It's not a nickname. It's his title. Another conversation I hope to have is one with my very own cousin, who is currently an aspiring musician in her own right. She's got a voice that is out of this world. She's got a presence like Wonder Woman. She is intelligent, and she currently, right now, has the world by the balls. So, to talk to an up-and-coming artist, I think would be a lot of fun. To talk to that artist from the perspective of an older family member who has had a good run and now sees the younger generation achieving so much in such a short time. I bask in the glow to know that my family's gifts of us contributing to art and music and style to the next generation continues strong. Yeah, I know, it's a lot of work. If I could pull off those episodes, that would be quite the season 1, I'd say. Ha! And you know, I am going to tag each and every one of you mentioned here in this video to make sure that you see it, so that when you get my call, text, messenger, email, or preliminary questionnaire, it doesn't come out of left field. So, to all who have been mentioned in the video, be on notice, 'cause I'm coming for you, baby.